KUAM TV8, first on Guam. KUAM News headlines are presented by Calvo's Insurance, protecting Micronesia for 85 years. Matson and the Adahi Itano program. Apply at matson.com. Cars Plus, Guam's automotive leader in sustainability and electric vehicles. Learn more at carsplusguam.com. McDonald's of Guam, I'm loving it. And King's Restaurant, serving your local breakfast, lunch, and dinner favorites for over 45 years.
Ahead on KUAM News Primetime, another setback to clean up the mold in the department's public schools. Adaloop issuing a news release admitting the Guam DOE failed to get all documents to the feds.
I forgive you.
Plus, a strong voice from the island's LGBTQ+ community sharing a message of love for the suspect caught ripping down pride flags days into the celebration.
High schoolers learning about the endangered cocoa birds and how snake detector dogs protect them at Yoji's summer camp. I'm Matsuki Hirayama with the story coming up.
Half a day and good evening. Welcome to KUAM News Primetime. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Thank you so much for making us a part of your day. And welcome back, Nick.
Thanks, Des. Great to you back. Great job to you and Siki for covering these past couple of weeks. Well, now to our top stories. The mold cleanup at the Guam Department of Education schools has hit a snag.
Adaloop confirming today documentation is submitted so far to FEMA by Guam DOE falls short of the standard necessary for them to get the needed funding. The administration issued the response on behalf of the Department of Administration. Officials commenting on the remarks Superintendent Kenneth Swanson made recently regarding typhoon malware repairs for school fencing and mold mitigation. GDOE was reminded that the recovery funds from FEMA is dependent upon strict compliance with procurement laws and regulations. GSA is standing by to complete the procurement. Superintendent Swanson tells KUAM they are addressing the procurement issues, stating in part, while progress has been made, some issues persist, reflecting the complex nature of government procurement processes.
In response to the setback, Education Oversight Chair Senator Chris Barnett calls it shameful, stating in part, quote, GDOE could have done their own procurements for malware recovery projects. He's pointing the blame now to the administration for taking millions, he says, from the school system. Well, the man police alleged was trying to start a violent gang on Guam wants a speedy trial in the 4 criminal cases filed against him in local court. Defendant Mesawam Repwalk appeared in the Superior Court today, set to answer to the indictments handed down against him. His defense attorney had to withdraw, however, due to a scheduling conflict after Repwalk decided he wants a trial and fast. He was appointed a new attorney and will be back in court tomorrow morning. Repwalk facing a slew of charges to include attempted murder in connection to a Mighty shooting that sent a teenage girl to the hospital.
A new opinion filed by the High Court makes a further push for a new trial for a former airman who had been convicted of molesting a 9-year-old girl. The conviction against defendant Luis Vargas was overturned last December, but recently filed court documents state a Superior Court judge violated Vargas's rights when they granted his request for a DNA expert only 2 days before trial started. A new trial date has not yet been set.
The suspect caught on surveillance stealing a truck from a disabled veteran about 4 months back is captured. 28-year-old Lacey Houck is charged with aggravated assault and theft of a motor vehicle. Both charges include an enhancement special allegation of vulnerable victim. As KUM reported, a 76-year-old Vietnam veteran was putting air in his tire at a gas station in Totu last March when the suspect asked him for a ride. After the victim said no, the suspect then took off with his pickup truck. The incident left the victim needing to be treated for injuries at the hospital. Now, police tracked down Houck on Monday. Houck laughed and smiled when officers asked him about the stolen truck. He allegedly denied stealing it, telling police he does not hurt people. There is enough love and understanding for everyone, including those who may disagree.
Well, on Primetime Monday, we brought you the story about a vandal tearing down pride flags in Sinahanya. Tonight, KUAM speaking with one member of the LGBTQ+ community in hopes the incident doesn't steer away any positive vibes from the celebration.
An act of intolerance days into a celebration of acceptance and equality.
It's just disheartening to see that, and it was really beautiful when you go through the village of Sinahanya. You see it, you know, it's like, oh wow, it's a nice tribute.
Met with the message of love.
I forgive you. Maybe there's something that's going on with this individual and we don't know. But again, let's try and stay positive and treat each other with respect and love.
Chalampago resident Glenn Lujan urging members of his fellow LGBTQ+ community to rise above actions meant to bring them down in the face of repeated attacks.
This is nothing new.
Including attacks on social media.
At the legislature, we had placed flags down there and it was burned.
Still, those attempts never dulled the fire, lighting the fight for the right to live a life of authenticity.
We have a lot of people out there who are there. We're here for each other. And stay positive. Don't lose sight of who you are. Love yourself first.
Meantime, the nonprofit organization Equality Guam has offered to replace the pride flags, as the Sinahanya Mayor's Office is accepting donations to repair damaged flagpoles.
Again, if you have any information about the theft, you are asked to report it to Guam Police. Now to a notice to landowners around Andersen Air Force Base.
The Department of Defense Missile Defense Agency notifying the administration of a proposed final environmental assessment as they plan to conduct up to 2 flight tests or tracking exercises. This is expected to begin in fiscal year 2025 and continue annually over a 10-year period. Out of an abundance of caution, the department says they will request select landowners on the boundaries of Andersen to stay away from their private properties during test events. These activities are to validate, they say, the interoperability of multiple sensors and interceptor systems of a missile defense system being developed to protect Guam.
Starting today through July 2nd, the Defense Agency published both proposals. The public is given the next 30 days to comment. Find out more on KUAM.com or by visiting any of Guam's libraries.
Hawaii's second largest volcano, Kilauea, erupts. Could the haze make it to this part of the Pacific?
And school's out for summer, but the learning continues for this group of local high schoolers.
Let your people know. When it comes to the pickle to chicken ratio, some people, they playing in your face, but not the McCrispy. Let your people know. When it comes to the pickle to chicken ratio, some people, they playing in your face, but not the McCrispy.
Welcome to Kmart, your 24-hour superstore since 1995. Always there for you day or night. At Kmart, we're committed to offering you an extensive selection of products at prices you won't find anywhere else. From the essential to the exceptional, our aisles are alive with possibility. Bloom with confidence, style, and savings this spring. Discover stylish clothing that fits your budget without compromising on quality. From trendy pieces to timeless classics, find the perfect look for every member of your family without spending a fortune. Then pamper yourself with our selection of essentials from nourishing shampoos to rejuvenating beauty products and soaps. And let imagination soar with our selection of toys and games for kids of all ages. At Kmart, experience the thrill of discovery as you explore our aisles, filled with a variety of quality products that cater to your every need. From groceries to home goods to outdoor essentials, we are the ultimate one-stop shop. Dive into an unparalleled shopping experience where quality, variety, and savings await at every turn. Shop smart, save big at Kmart, your 24-hour superstore.
Welcome back to Primetime. Hawaii's Kilauea volcano, which erupted early Monday morning, has paused. Officials say effusion lava ceased around 8:30 a.m. Chamorro Standard Time. They continue to monitor it, though, saying the region remains dynamic and could change quickly.
This is video captured during the eruption. The last time Kilauea erupted was last September, and the lava flow lasted 1 week. The activity last year resulted in a volcanic haze advisory for Guam, which local meteorologists say this time will not likely occur.
Arts, culture, and healing. The 13th Festival of Pacific Arts Culture is the world's largest celebration of Indigenous Pacific Islanders.
And who can forget the talent and the culture that collided right here back in 2016. Now Guam and the CNMI's delegation is ready to join the celebration in the Aloha State. This also includes our regional correspondent, Tomas Menglotnia, who joins us in studio. Hafaday Zansiro, Tomas.
Hafaday, Destiny, and Nick. So great to join you on the desk. It's been a minute.
It's good to have you back on Guam as well.
Yeah, so I'm actually on my short layover as we prepare to head to Hawaii tomorrow morning. I am traveling with the Northern Marianas Humanities Council, who we are partnering with to bring you this coverage that will begin this week. And you said it, Nick, it is the world's largest celebration of Indigenous Pacific Islanders. Here are some numbers for you. 27 nations, 2,200 delegates. And again, as Destiny was saying, the last time we saw FESPAC being celebrated was right here on Guam in 2016. And because of the pandemic, it was delayed. But they're back on the 4-year schedule. And as you know, Guam is having about 110 delegates, I believe, and the CNMI is sending its contingent of 100 people as well. And we've been profiling them throughout the past few weeks, but it is definitely something that is much anticipated across the Pacific and internationally as well.
What did it go into preparations for some of those that you did speak with?
Right, so leading up to this, we've interviewed the groups of 60 dancers who make up the CNMI delegation out of that 100. Later tomorrow or this week, you'll also get to meet one of the carvers. We have been speaking with a traditional healer. Basically everyone and anyone who's going on this trip, it seems as though the entire village is going to show up today, the international village, fittingly. But they've been hard at work practicing, making sure that they represent the CNMI and Guam well. I know we've also been reporting on the preparation that's taking place here on Guam. But this is, as one of the dancers put it, who I interviewed, she said, you know, this is the biggest stage that they're ever going to get on. And in the Pacific, they consider that an honor. Because the Festival of the Pacific Arts, again, is one of the largest celebrations of our people.
Definitely. And as you mentioned, it's a highly anticipated event. So who are you most excited in interviewing, and what stories are you most excited to tell? Right.
So I hope I get to interview one person from each nation. So hopefully by the end of it all, you'll hear from all 27 nations. The events, there are so many of them. Outside of FESPAC itself, there are so many secondary events, people definitely capitalizing on the moment. You don't get this many of us in a room often, and so when you do, people take advantage of that. Even before the first official day of the opening ceremony, there's going to be a canoe ceremony with all of the different nations. And for the first time, Nick and Destiny, for the very first time, there's going to be Chamorro and Carolinian canoes that were shipped from Saipan participating in that in the opening ceremony before the official kickoff. So already history is being made, and we covered that history, when it was unfolding on Saipan when they shipped those canoes over from 500 sails.
It gives you chills, really, just thinking about all the involvement and what goes in. I'm still getting it right now. Just getting to the excitement that not just the delegation has been sharing, but also the community, even those that stay right here at home and ready to watch.
Yes, and that's our goal. Our goal is to bring you there as if you are there. And we will be following not just the FESPAC delegation, but of course our partners at the Northern Marianas Humanities Council, who are convening for the second, I believe, meeting of the regional humanities networks. That, of course, also includes Guam, the other territories and islands. And so there's a lot to cover, a lot to get to. We'll be hard at work posting on social media, sharing that on both KUAM News and KUAM CNMI Instagram. And we also have our YouTube playlist up already about FESPAC preparation. So you can watch the excitement already unfold from the very beginning as we've been covering it from the start.
It's going to be a magical sight to see, no doubt.
Definitely.
I know this. Did you go to the FESPAC in 2016 here?
I did, and I do remember Rapa Nui.
That's right. Yes, I was also at that event, and they were also I guess they stole the show.
They did.
And we'll see if anyone wins that popular contest this year.
There we go.
Yes.
You're going to be Rapa Nuiing all week long, I'm sure. And so a lot of preparations also thanks to your sponsors as well in helping you get there with your accommodations as well. And so, how has it been? How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's been exciting. I think outside of reporting on this event, it very much is a cultural exchange. And so we just released a video early last week of I participated with the Northern Marianas Humanities Council in making coconut oil as a gift that we're going to give the other delegates. You know, it was a very intentional process led by one of the Humanities Council board members, Lenny, and of course everyone who's contributed, you know, even the Rhoda Mayor's office, the Tinian Mayor's office, and so many other people, even the Jotun Kizu Public Library, has everyone, it's all hands on deck. And in the Pacific, we know you don't show up empty-handed, and that you give everything you've got coming from the heart to represent your islands. And honestly, I think this is the good news we've been needing this year, possibly in the last decade. And I think this is going to be great for our region, and we're looking forward to sharing all of those voices.
Amazing. A cultural exchange. I love that.
Definitely. All cultures coming together, colliding in one big stage, as you mentioned, and we can't wait to see all of what you give us in your coverage out there on FestPac. Tomas, we wish you a safe journey, and we can't wait to see all the images you send our way.
Thank you so much. And again, the theme is regenerating Oceania, so that's what we'll be focusing on.
There you have it. He's more than just a Rhoda native. He's our regional correspondent, Tomas Mangolnia, and he will bring you all the latest from FestPac, which will be held from June 6th through the 16th. The 26th Micronesian Island Forum wrapped up Tuesday. Leaders of island nations and territories in Micronesia gathering this week at the Hyatt Regency Guam for the annual gathering. They discussed a range of issues, including invasive species, climate change, cybersecurity, and travel.
My takeaway is that this is a very strong, formidable, official, and very influential forum for our Micronesian island leaders of the North Pacific.
To be more effective, we need to invest in good management and staff. We need to invest in each other and in this shared forum that we are stronger on a global stage.
Governor Lulian Guerrero echoed the need for a Secretary General who would help respond to the expanding needs of the regional body. The regional leaders will reconvene next year in the Marshall Islands.
While calling all masters of the arts.
The Guam Council on the Arts and Humanities is calling on the community for nominations to receive the Guam Masters Award, Guam National Treasure. It recognizes master practitioners for their artistry, craftsmanship, and continuing efforts to preserve the island's history and cultural traditions. Officials note of the 75 practitioners awarded the title of master, only 12 masters are alive today. The deadline to submit nominations is August 30th. Packets are being accepted at the Kaha office in the DNA building in Hagatnya, Suite 202. Well, from under the shade of a tree to a more traditional classroom, school may be out, but the learning continues at the University of Guam's Free Philosophy Summer Camp for local high schoolers with special visitors.
Yeah, it's not just fun in the sun and swimming for these kids. Mitsuki Hirayama has the story.
This is Sweti, the cocoa bird. Her name means lucky in Chamorro.
These birds can thrive.
Schoolers like Notre Dame's incoming senior Charlie Heberly learning about the efforts to protect the endangered Guam rail at the University of Guam's Free Philosophy Summer Camp.
I thought the cocoa birds was really cool and really cute, and it was just running around the room, and it was a really docile bird, and I think it reminds us why we need to preserve it more, and we should help it out.
It's a lesson Yolanda Tapasnya with the Guam Department of Agriculture knows all too well.
Well, are also cocoa birds going extinct?
When they're already not in the jungle, people think they see them on Guam, but they're not there. They're in Rhoda.
And another lesson?
Where is it? Where? Oh my girl. And the snakes.
How federal partners get rid of the invasive brown tree snakes.
I'm most excited for the showcase with the dog finding the snake, I think.
From traps to detector dogs like JJ, whose job is to sniff them out. UOG philosophy professor Dr. Jonathan Wirt says it's all in line with the camp's mission.
It focuses on environmental ethics and island sustainability with an emphasis on combining indigenous environmental knowledge with contemporary kind of scientific knowledge.
He adds there's another session high schoolers can avail of in the first week of July. Just visit KUAM.com for more information. Mitsuki Hirayama, KUAM News.
Good job with that story, Mitsuki. Wow, great to see our youngsters are getting involved in not just making history, but doing something great for the environment there.
Definitely.
Learning is key.
Yep.
Attention book lovers, some news to pass along from our friends at the Guam Public Library System. New hours have been announced for the locations located across the island.
In addition to the new operating hours, the main library in Hagåtña is now open on Saturdays from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. to better serve the community.
Weekend fun there.
Yeah. For more on the extended hours for all your reading and research needs, visit the story on KUAM.com. All right, now for a look at your world at home.
Here's a beautiful view of the Iloesinos Peace Park on Saipan.
Intention mo ti manyaw Ikurason mo tumatangis Purhaguneni
Hey, Dad! Hey, Dad! Oh, Papa! Hey, Dad! Appa! Hey, Dad! Hot Dad! Dad! Hey, Dad, where do babies come from?
Ask your mom.
Sign up for a new unlimited plan and get a free Apple Watch. Only at GTA.
You think KFC's new pizza isn't pizza because it's made with crispy fried chicken? You think the marinara, mozzarella, and pepperoni aren't enough? Well, you're right. It's not pizza. It's chizza. Only at KFC.
Spartan racers are a special breed, and Tess Esma continues to conquer courses with the word quit never existing in her vocabulary.
I'm always thinking mind that I can do this. I need to win. I need to bring, I bring back to Guam that I'm gonna, at least I'm in the podium, but think I can do this. I can do this. I keep going.
She sees Spartan courses as metaphors for life, being a series of challenges. Some are designed, some spontaneous, some being what nature throws at you in that moment, that you have to think creatively and bravely to move past.
The obstacle, that's the very interesting, especially monkey bar, ring bar, twister, bender, barbed wire, and this 10K is 26 obstacles.
At 47 years young, her never give up attitude and mindset brings it every time.
For my age division is very competitive and only few, especially in the beast and the elite division, it's a very few, because when I look, when we did the race, it's only usually just like 20 some or 30 some. It's a very few in my age. 40 to 50 is very few. So it's just like, this is a very competitive and very challenging, because you compete different nationality. So it's just like, why I need to quit. So I need to keep going.
Spartan races aren't easy, and that's exactly the way Tess likes it. For her, sports is the ultimate expression of how she lives her life.
If you're in the sports, you're very different. Chasing a challenge, especially, remember every weekend we do have 5Ks, and then I'm active in a Guam running club. So Guam running club is a very challenging course.
Guam is truly a majestic place with its sheer natural beauty, wealth of beaches, and culturally rich landscape. Unfortunately, Guam has a real problem with unwanted invasive species. Help us in preventing their introduction and spread. The coconut rhinoceros beetle, the little fire ant, the African snail, Siam weed. These are just a few of the numerous invasives on Guam. Follow proper custom procedures when bringing plants and animals into Guam.
Help protect Guam. Tell your family and friends about invasive species.
To report invasive species, call 475-PEST.
Don't need a work break, keep the smile on your face. The moments you can't replay, and I'll be around. Whoa. You can count on me. You can count on me for life.
Wherever life takes you, we're always here for you. Calvo's Insurance. Count on us for life.
Island Cancer Center has the only state-of-the-art Halcyon Linear Accelerator, providing radiation treatments in the Asia-Pacific region. We are excited to be back up and running after Typhoon Mawar. We have been providing the highest quality patient-centered care for 14 years and will continue to do so. Why? Because we love what we do. Island Cancer Center, our family treating your family. Visit us at islandcancercenter.com or call 671-646-3363. And this week's Giving Every Tuesday, all month long, in honor of Foster Care Awareness Month, restaurant Manang Pika donated a portion of purchases to nonprofit Harvest House. On Tuesday morning at the Filipino-Mexican Fusion restaurant, owners and siblings Jessica and Justin Aninzo made a check presentation to Harvest House director and founder Bethany Taylor. The total collected from the sales came out to $1,696.16. Taylor was grateful for such a kind donation and notes it will help with so much.
Really, on behalf of the 675 foster kids we service on this island and all the families, the shelters, the licensed foster families, this is a huge deal. It supports our mission in helping them provide physical good, spiritual encouragement, emotional support for them, and honestly, it just really allows our foster community to know that there's a huge community out there that says, I see you, I hear you, you're understood now, you're cared for, I love you.
Jessica explains what made her want to give back is her passion to help children.
I went to school at UOG for criminal justice, and I wanted to change into the social work. I guess it kind of just ties into what I believed in, and yeah, I've always just been one of those people who just wants to help children.
She says she was surprised by the outpour of support and is very appreciative.
There's a really huge community here in Guam who wants to actually support, people who are in need or kids that are in need, or even just the foster children.
The two are thankful to be able to help Harvest House and look forward to their next partnership.
I'm really blessed to be here, to have this business, to help out and support our community, and pretty much it just feels good to share our blessings with the rest of Guam or the rest of the kids that need us out there.
After the check presentation, donations that were collected were picked up at the KUAM studios in Harmon. The donations will go to assist foster families and children. With this week's Giving Every Tuesday, Jonagan Charfres, KUAM News.
Giving Every Tuesday is brought to you by J. Goodman, a happiness company.
Alpha Day and welcome to another round of your News Bites. Let's get right to it. The Guam Business Development Center is hosting a series of workshops for the month of June. On June 7th, learn how to write a business plan, or on June 14th, sit in and get an introduction to financial statements. To register, you can check out the link right now that's on your screen. Up next, get ready to lace up your shoes. It's a race to the crown for Mangilao's Sunset 5K Run Walk fundraiser for the Village Liberation Queen candidate. The run walk takes place on Sunday, June 9th, with a go time at 5:30 p.m. at the Manila Market Grounds. You can register Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. at the Manila Mayor's Office. There'll be vendors, food trucks, and live entertainment. And finally, if you happen to be in Saipan, make sure to brush up your resume. The Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands Department of Labor will be hosting a job fair on June 28th from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Multipurpose Center in Susupi. And in case you missed it, make sure to head on over to KUAM.com.
Time now for birthday wishes.
I think that was my line.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay. Here's your Cold Stone Creamery Birthday Club shoutouts, which you can submit on KUAM.com.
We have a single birthday shout out going out on this June 4th, and there's nothing wrong with that, everybody. So Caitlin Eliana Sotomil, we hope you are having a happy birthday, and your shout out says happy blessed birthday to Kit Kat. May all your dreams and wishes come true, and we love you always. This is a very proud familia. And we hope, Caitlin, that you and your friends and your family all celebrate today, and we hope your day is amazingly beautiful.
Also, a special happy birthday to the Rosario sisters, the Dingas, Jessica Leon Guerrero and Judy Rosario. I know they were celebrating, I think, on a trip to Vietnam is what I saw their friends post, but we know who they are. We know what they do for this community. So happy birthday ladies, and happy birthday to all of you celebrating out there today. It's so great to be back here with you guys.
I know, it's so great to have you back. How was your trip?
Incredible. So if for anyone that might not be following me on social, I was out in Denver celebrating my oldest who graduated high school. Congratulations to you, Kev. And congratulations to all the graduates out there. We continue to celebrate for all of your milestones reached. That's your Primetime Show. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Nick Delgado.
And I'm Destiny Cruz. Have a safe evening and stay beautiful.
House to Home, presented by Remax Diamond Realty.
Half a day, everybody. Welcome to House to Home. We have a special guest in the KUM News Zoom room this week, none other than Senator Chris Duenas, the very honorable member of the Guam legislature. Now, ladies, let's provide a little bit of context. Let's pedal back for just a moment before we bring in the senator for his insight on this topic. Last week, both of you were slightly impassioned, I say, like at your feelings on the fact that legislation that you thought was moving forward has somewhat stymied. We were talking theoretically what this might have, the implications that it may have going forward. And now we actually have one of our policymakers here right now to offer his perspective, maybe give some context from his side of the argument on why that may be. So ladies, go ahead, take over.
Well, I know we put a lot of attention to this bill and we provided testimony. This situation has gone on for about 4 years now. And in the beginning, it was thought that the senators were going to, Sabina Perez was going to move the bill forward. As we found 4 years later, still nothing. And we went to Senator Duenas here to push the bill forward because we feel passionately that this bill addresses a number of things. We're short of homes right now. There's a shortage. The decedent estate maps were not being processed equitably in comparison to the parental subdivision maps. And then the nitrate system was supposed to help reduce pollution, and they were blaming that the septic tanks were issues. The nitrate system would help alleviate that issue. And yet we're still where we are today with nothing happening. And I think Gina over the radio last week called out the senators who were not supporting this, and even a co-sponsor of the bill did not vote to move it forward. So we're really upset that this thing has not moved and is being sandbagged in the legislature. It's really something that the people need to know about, that politics is being played here.
Okay, now, Senator, as a representative and as a member of the legislature, like, what is your context that you can contribute to this discussion on what's happened with this proposed legislation?
Yeah, so once again, I want to thank you, Jason, and also, to Liz and to Gina and the Guam Association of Realtors for just being very active on this very critical matter as far as I'm concerned. For the listening audience, we're talking about Bill 175-37. This bill, of course, we introduced as Gina and Liz have been explaining. They're really a court-ordered parental subdivision, but yet they don't have the same rights. And this also is something that EPA said in order to correct, you need to bring in the Type 4 toilet facility system that will treat nitrates and treat the pollution. So we have the solution in this bill, and the solution that they were requiring. And I had senators as co-sponsors, and I had assurances from senators that I could move this bill because the committee will not move the bill. And unfortunately, we fell short on the floor as some votes had changed, unfortunately. So we're appealing to the public to urge these senators that the political process and the process of debating legislation takes place on the floor. You know, no senator should hold bills back because they either don't like them or don't feel as though they're well prepared for the floor. We know this bill is well prepared for the floor. And if those senators want to make amendments to this, as well as another piece of legislation on the additional dwelling units, then make the amendments on the floor and do what the legislature has been designed to do and that people vote for us to do, is debate legislation and vote it up and down on the floor and move from there.
Okay, Gina, your thoughts.
I believe the reason that some of the senators, not all, but some of the senators are not moving this bill forward is not so much the nitrate reducing system, but more, there's a section in this bill where Senator Duenas was trying to address the injustice that probate land, that people who receive their map through the probate system, if their lot is less than half acre and you take that property and you go to EPA and you ask for a building permit to build a home, if your property is less than half acre and you're over the northern aquifer, you will be placed on hold right now. And they're saying the reason you're placed on hold is we want a different type of septic tank system. That's an injustice because, you know, if I had a parental map and I went in and asked for the same thing with exactly the same size, I would be approved. So in the bill, Senator Duenas emphasizes a section in the law and reiterates that section in the law that says a land, you know, decedent estate and a parental estate, that these are the minimum lot sizes they're allowed to have. And all he's doing in that bill, and the sponsors, all they did was to emphasize what's already in the law. But the bill was really meant to introduce the Type 4 septic tank system, which reduces nitrates by 50%. So for all the senators, especially Senator Perez, who is oversight over EPA, who completely and always advocates for the protection of the waterlands. Number one, we are all advocating for the protection of waterlands, all of us. There is not one decedent estate landowner who has said, well, I don't care about the waterlands, I just want to build my home. In fact, the reason they've been waiting for this bill to be passed is because they actually believe in the same thing. To want to build homes on your property that you've been awarded through the court does not mean you don't want to protect the waterlands. It does not mean that at all. But I believe that that's what's standing in the way. These senators are not being honest about their objection. Their objection for this bill isn't about the nitrate reducing system. It's really about that part in the bill that says that you, as a landowner, you can subdivide it into 4 parcels, because that's what the law tells you you can do right now. So senators, if you're opposed to that part of the bill, then you got to focus on changing the law, not this bill. This bill is only meant to balance the injustice that's currently going on and really to introduce this new Type 4 septic tank system, which will reduce the nitrates that is currently going into the system, you know, our waterlands right now. Now, it's not a fix-all. The fix-all is GWA, Government of Guam, install the sewer systems. You have the system development fee. You've got the money there. What have you been waiting for? In the meantime, nobody sees that there's an injustice here to demand that only decedent estate landowners are the only ones right now who are tasked with the burden of protecting the waterlands. It's not, this is not right. We need to fix it soon.
Okay, and And I'm sorry. Well, Senator, for context, last week Liz and Gina were both making like a call for public action to citizens if they feel as they do to come out and and speak their voice and possibly take action to demand that this move forward. Senator, aside from going through the protocol and the process of dealing with public policy, have you had face-to-face time from your constituency and actually heard what what the concerns of the people are directly?
Absolutely, Jason. Families have been contacting me. One particular family, Mr. John Santos and the Pangilinan family from Ordet Salampago. I want to tell this story really quickly because it's very important.
Certainly.
First and foremost, this family is not only a recipient of their properties through probate, but the government also did another thing that really, really is egregious. They punched a road through their land because there was access required. And they in doing so, they actually were the ones who caused fractional lots within that lot and substandard lots because the government took that land. And so to add insult to injury, now their property is too small for the half-acre portions with the distribution. What's interesting about this particular gentleman is he has a beautiful home down south. But the reason why he wants to build this home in Chalampago is because he has a daughter who's been not well pretty much all of her life, has health difficulties. And she consistently needs to go to the clinic or even to the hospital from time to time. And he wants to build this house, most especially, just to take care of his daughter throughout the rest of her life and be closer to medical facilities. This is the example of the kind of injustice that is happening to particular individuals and families. Another big family over in Ta'i, have called me, and they have a pump station that's 100 feet in front of their property, just far enough to not be able to allow them to use their properties. Same thing by probate distribution. They should have, if they had a parental subdivision, they would be able to do it. And they've begged Waterworks, help us, we're not that far from that pump station. Let's upgrade that pump station and get us closer. Well, that takes a lot of planning, takes a lot of revenue, takes a lot of this and that. So they sit there and their family, wants to, there are people that do not want to leave Guam. They want to stay here. And they got properties that probably at that quarter-acre lot would be value anywhere, especially in Ta'i, from 80,000, the ladies can correct me, maybe up to 150,000 per quarter acre. They have equity. They have the ability to build a home, but they can't because the law prevents them. These are the kind of families that have been coming to me. I've taken on a lot of big issues as my time as a senator, and I got to tell you, this one in particular, my wife, is very patient. But I don't get out of grocery stores or restaurants or going to the mall or just, spending time with family, oftentimes on weekends, without at least one or two people pulling me aside to talk about this issue. The other thing are the Chamorro Land Trust families. They've been waiting and waiting and waiting for distributions, and those who are fortunate enough.
House to Home, presented by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Why wait to get the upgrade you deserve? Head to IT&E and bring home the phone of your dreams today without the high upfront cost. No contract required. Simply pay it off in easy, affordable installments with a device payment plan. You'll even save more cash with a huge discount on unlimited data. Or choose the 10 gig plan for a lower monthly payment and unlimited access to your favorite social media apps. Sign up today for the phone you've always wanted on the plan that meets your budget. IT&E. Connect with savings.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
Half a day, I'm Claire Calvo bringing you your weekly renewal. Today I have the pleasure to sit with someone who I've been following for many years, Robert Celestial, who is the founder and the president of PARS, Pacific Association for Radiation Survivors. Welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Claire.
Thanks
for having me.
June 5th is World Environment Day. Now, I think we all could agree that the quality of our personal individual health is contingent on the quality of our environmental health. Those of our viewers who are not familiar with your story, can you just share a little bit about your history?
Yes. Well, I was in the military and I was stationed in Marshall Islands, Claire. From 77 to 78, we were cleaning up the nuclear waste from 43, well actually total 67 nuclear weapons that were detonated. So I was affected, 6,000 of us, we were all affected with exposure to nuclear ionizing radiation. So I did
6,000 of you all.
Yeah, 6,000, and in today's video through the National Association of Veterans, 90% of us have passed away. There's only 10% of us still alive. So I did research for Guam, and back in '98, and found out that Guam was affected by nuclear fallout from this testings in the Marshall Islands. And the sad part is that it was kept secret. And so when I did the research, I was so surprised I was finding why Guam was involved in this declassification. So the more I dug into it, I started finding documents about communications between Marshall Islands and Guam. And then I found Lieutenant Bert Schreiber, and he was the chemical, biological, radiological officer on Guam in 1952, and find out that his Geiger counters were going off the scale. And he tried to tell his commander. Commander said, "Go back to your workstation. You can't see anything. You're on a secret clearance. I mean, top secret clearance." So I contacted him and I asked him if he could give me a sworn testimony, and which he did. And then I took that with all the other evidence, and then I got invited to go before the National Academy of Sciences through the BRER Committee, the Board of Radiation Effects Research Committee, and I got invited to testify and give oral and written testimony before this committee. And then they in turn wrote a report in 2005, and they concluded in their report that yes, Guam did receive measurable fallout from the nuclear testings in the Pacific Proving Grounds. And the conclusion is real good because it says that yes, the residents of Guam during that time should be compensated through the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act as downwinders. And so the new bill from Senator Hawley right now is passed the Senate and is now in the House. If they pass it in the House, that bill is different because all it does is give downwinders just $100,000. They took out the health benefits because when they tried to pass in the bill earlier this year, it failed because they said it cost too much.
And let me just ask you, because you have been working tirelessly for 15 plus years.
23 years.
23 years.
Yes.
What inspired you to, first of all, form the different nonprofit organizations and to come out with all of this?
When I was active duty, I went before a medical board and they gave me a full retirement with 27 years of military service. My comrades, the one with me that was there in Inuitak, a lot of them didn't receive the same compensation. They were suffering. So that's why we fought hard to get us into the PACT Act that was passed last year. Right. And so the reason I fight so hard about it is because a lot of families on Guam feel that their health, they don't know why their health has been affected. And so when I tried to prove it in 2001, 2002, our government basically tried to deny that we were exposed to nuclear fallout.
Thank you. I will see you next time on your weekly renewal for part 2 of this 2-part series.
Weekly Renewal is brought to you by Calvo Select Care.
Guam's auto appearance specialist, Elegant Reflections, has been providing the automotive industry with professional detailing and car care products at its highest quality, from complete detailing, full interior detailing, exterior detailing, headlamp restoration, hand washing, seat and carpet shampoo, engine degreasing, undercarriage cleaning, paint sealant, fabric protection, paint oxidation removal, and so much more. Visit us at our new location. Call 646-5555 for an appointment. Elegant Reflections, Guam's auto appearance specialist, over 20 years of experience.
How deep do Pizza Hut's roots run in the islands? Through all the decades, we know what you love. Great taste at an even better price. Like our large one-topping carry-out pizza for just $15.99. You choose your favorite topping: pepperoni, olives, sausage, or any other single topping. Our $15.99 large one-topping pizza. Order online and carry one out today. Only at Pizza Hut, the island's best.
Find a plan that goes with your flow. Get unlimited local talk, text, and data at the most affordable rate with Unlimited Flow Postpaid.
Health Check is brought to you locally by Island Cancer Center.
Grandmother of 5, Kathy Magstad, has beaten the odds twice.
I had to make peace with the beast.
Her journey with glioblastoma, a fast-growing, aggressive brain tumor, began in 2017. Her first symptom, uncontrollable twitching of her tongue.
It was a simple, little, teeny, tiny thing, but it came back, and it came back.
Her father died of the same brain cancer and was diagnosed at the same age, 63.
My heart sunk. You know, you can't help but think this is the
tumor was caught early. It was the size of 2 small raisins. Doctors at the University of Miami's Sylvester Comprehensive Cancer Center performed an awake craniotomy.
I don't want any invaders. Get them out.
And they did. Dr. Macarena de la Fuente is chief of neuro-oncology at the center's new Brain Tumor Institute.
Unfortunately, the tumor came back 5 years after.
So last year, she had a second surgery and took part in a clinical trial testing a mix of 2 chemotherapy drugs, one of only 8 people in the world to participate.
We check for toxicities, whether the combination of drug is safe.
In her case, it was. Tests currently show her cancer is clear.
The median survival for a glioblastoma is 18 months. We are here to provide hope.
There is no cure for glioblastoma, but new treatments are helping patients live longer.
So how are you feeling today?
Hanging in.
And Maxted is grateful for that. Cristian Benavides, CBS News, Miami.
KFC's new pizza.
Fried chicken? That's not pizza.
That's right. It's not pizza. It's pizza. Only at KFC.
I wanna live and feel like chase my dreams in the sky, oh, in my pursuit of happiness. Oh.
To all the dads who help us live our happy Father's Day.
Honey, do you want some milk?
Do you ever wonder how your favorite products make their way into your local stores? Most arrive on state-of-the-art Matson vessels that transport containers of food, household items, equipment, and supplies into the islands every week. Because we know that you depend on us, we work closely with our partners to ensure that our shipments arrive on time, all the time, so you can find your favorite products when you need them. We transport the region's most precious cargo that supports successful businesses and promotes a better quality of life for our families. Matson is proud to have been the hometown shipping carrier for Guam, the CNMI, and Micronesia for the past 25 years, and you can count on us to be here for generations to come.
Basically, what kind of person we want to be in the future. And a lot of these are inspired by the values of empathy, respect, kindness, and just cooperation and kindness when interacting with others in the community. And so all this to say in the age group that we're looking at, middle school, around that age, I think if anyone had that opportunity when they were that age to get the kind of skills that we're hoping they walk away with, anyone's going to make good decisions that they'll feel good in their own well-being, and I think it would definitely make and support for our future leaders.
A summer camp for island youth that's equally fun, rewarding, informative, and life-changing, providing culturally relevant life lessons, is being held for the next 2 weeks under the ever-watchful eye of our friends at West Care Pacific Islands. A major goal of the program is to shape identity and instill strength.
And I think at that time and age, and let's be real, at that age, everyone only thinks of relationships and, you know, how to look cool and how to be cool. But I think always in the end of it, we learn that getting in touch with who we are and who we want to be, which is exactly, I think, the activities and the space they'll get to have. And of course, just grow into these beautiful beings for our island.
And while West Care perpetually looks out for our island's at-risk and underprivileged youth, building on the universality of their core values, the lessons campers take away are for everyone.
We created a system in that those who have been through the camp will have some kind of like I don't want to ruin it too much, but they'll have some kind of like a lead in interacting with the other peers with them.
Modern mental health is broader than was defined for previous generations, so there's also the building up of fundamental skills like confidence, optimism, self-awareness, and a desire to make positive contributions to our shared community.
And you know, and just as a mental health provider myself, I've been doing counseling, fortunately, for 4 years under West Care. Like seeing the curriculum and then seeing how the mental health component is married together and delivered for these youth, I feel like it covers all facets, like their identity, understanding their cognitions and how their emotions are linked to their actions, are linked to their thoughts. And when we have a better understanding of that, we feel like we have a lot more control in what we create ourselves to be. And I think coming back to your other question of how does this change them and how does this bring them back to be great leaders in the community or people who give back, I think that's exactly it, is that we give them the space to just bloom, to just spread their arms and figure out what that looks like in a very safe environment and in a way that's very supportive and accepting for themselves and their peers. And I think that's, again, from a mental health perspective, I think that's so unconditional in creating for joyful, happy people, and not only just joyful, but people who will know how to navigate difficulties and challenges in life, because they will happen.
Now, one of the amazing aspects is former campers coming back and giving back, participating as alumni, and now being given ownership to keep the success going.
And I think because, you know, life is always about transition and change, and so I think in that time frame, just developmentally and also where people are in that space, everyone remembers, oh yeah, I remember in high school. I remember when that happened. Oh, I was so kalaka's, or oh, I made these mistakes. But I think when we have that space and when we create that space for them and the right kind of tools to support them through difficulties, oh gosh, it's really beautiful to be able to witness their empowerment in that way. I think the last thing I'll say is, you know, just be on the lookout when we have more.